note from our little jungle on positive psychology in practice. And the path of least resistance. I'm reading through the book, very good book, uh, The Happiness Advantage. Let me move this a little bit. Okay, it was in the sun, and in the sun, um, it just stops. I have a few errors. I talked alone, really alone. Not that with this there's much interaction, but with the sun, leaving it in the sun, the camera of the phone and the phone altogether stopped. It just went blank. So it's for um, some films. I was talking alone because there was nothing there to record. Path of Least Resistance, Sean Acker, at Happiness Advantage. A very good book. Uh, a very promising, in fact, what am I saying? An established author, an expert on positive psychology, a former student of Tal Ben-Shahar, the Harvard professor, who has established a record that his lectures have been the most popular ever. Hi. Um, the book is launching a very good, uh, has a very good launch. It, from the beginning, is making this statement, demonstrated by tests, that those who are happy have an advantage. They see better the world physically, and research. It's true, negative people are better in terms of detail. And in the book by This Was Dinner and a few others, a couple of other authors, uh, the upside of your downside. There is talk about this advantage of negativity in some contexts. Um, that is, you want a policeman to be negative when doing an investigation because that's how he gets the details right. Negative better than positive, who will get the big picture, the bigger, can see better. Tests have shown a wider area, but not the details as the negative. Air traffic controllers. I know one who's really negative beyond the point of being reasonable. I mean, over there, I think it's already a medical case, but let's hope we don't have the tragedy of Breaking Bad, when a traffic controller is off his rocker, and there are some other jobs where negativity is associated with the job. Lawyers being one uh, one example. 3.6 times more likelier than that the average person in the another job to be depressed. Lawyers. Returning, he talks at one point about the path of least resistance. The fact that we can use 20-second difference to get an advantage, to get something done, or hi, da mai ușor. To prevent us from doing something bad. For instance, he's giving the example of his guitar. He wanted to practice and learn guitar, playing the guitar, and the guitar was not close to him when he got home. But when he brought the guitar close to the couch, well, sure, um, it worked, because we have this tendency choose the path of least resistance. And when an extra effort is required, we don't even opt out. He's referring to this marketing technique, wherein, for instance, we get so much mail from various sources, and we can stop them, stop the flood, if we only opt out. But we don't, because it takes some energy, and we don't want to spend any in many instances to find the small place at the bottom and then click on two sites or something in order to be out of that game. Uh, in order to prevent himself from watching too much TV, he took the batteries out of the remote control and placed them 20 seconds. He has this established this time limit from him in a drawer somewhere. And if it takes more than 20 seconds, there's a tendency to, okay, so I need the batteries. Forget, I will not bother with the TV. And in this way, we can establish good habits. In his case, he could play the guitar, read a book, work on his book on a laptop, which were all placed near. I've read in other places indeed that in terms of food, it's recommended that we have healthy food available on the table, fruit, for instance, because we have the same tendency in what has to do with food. They have done research and they've proved that just putting a lid on the compartment with the ice cream, where the ice cream is, influences people in having less. So it's better to have healthy snacks ready just to be grabbed, and make the other items, the unhealthy foods, more difficult to get to. He gives also this example: if we have a bag of junk food, and okay, we will have some junk food, have one item, and then place the bag somewhere if it's more difficult to get to, because it path of least resistance. If healthy is readily available and we can just get it, and unhealthy takes some time, that will bring so much benefit. And I know about food, I've read this in other places, this great idea of having healthy food available, which I don't use, as he gives this example in the book. He talks with a manager from Britain, or that's a great idea. I will not use it. Well, let's hope we will. A path of least resistance. And he also refers to the habits that we can, healthy habits that we can and we should get into.